90th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the second week of May 2012. This episode is titled Draw Nothing. CloudFocus Weekly is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing experts. I'm your host here for the 90th time, and joining me for the 90th time, dressed in the exact same shirt that I am, that is scary, is Justin Elstein. Justin, how are you doing today?
I was good till I saw you and then realized that we're wearing the exact same shirt.
Yeah, exact same Arkus logo
It's an Arkus 3-button, and some would call this a polo shirt.
Yep.
Though it's not made by Polo.
No.
It has a much better logo on it.
Yes.
The Arkus
logo. And I like that it has my favorite part is that on the back it has
it has the icon on the back.
It has our icon.
People like our icon.
I
like our icon.
I like us. You know what?
The shirt doesn't fit me anymore, though.
No.
It's a little big.
No.
Lost a little weight.
Yes.
With my couch to 5K.
Maybe you need bigger guns like me because I can fill it out. All right, let's get to the agenda.
Is this the weight loss special?
This
podcast?
Is the weight loss special.
Number 90.
Number 90. All right, we got a couple things. We got a new blog post on the Summer 12 Hardcore, which I think you told people in the last podcast that you were going to make me write.
I did.
Well, guess what?
You wrote it.
I wrote it.
Good. You did a good job, too. I like it.
Thanks. And then, so we'll talk about that, some of the hardcore features in Summer 12. We got some Dreamforce news. Dreamforce news is kicking up, and maybe some rumors. I'm going to throw rumors to the wind here. And then we also have a little news on sort of a follow-up to a conversation we had before. In a light cloud computing, I was up early this morning, and I spent some time looking for cloud computing news, and it's dry. It's not cloudy.
It's no good.
No, so we're going to talk a little bit about...
Maybe it is good. We haven't had, like, an outage to talk about.
We need to talk about some weather. Anyway,
yeah.
So let's get started with where all things start and end, which is the new blog post on blog.arkusinc.com, which is entitled Summer 12 Hardcore.
Yep.
And that is in reference to a movement started, I think, back before Dreamforce 11, which was a movement to get Salesforce to really start to pay attention to core functionality.
That's right.
And so by core functionality, we mean things that have sort of either objects that have existed forever or features and functions that have kind of been, I don't want to say half-baked, but sort of built but then left alone. Neglected, maybe. Like solutions, probably the most neglected object out there. Or maybe contracts.
Or products.
You're right. So these are all things that have, sort of been neglected, and they're part of the, they are part of the core feature function, although accounts, contacts, opportunities, leads are really...
I've had some fun with products the last week or so with a client where I've had to do some interesting formulas and workflow rules to do some workarounds for getting things from opportunity products rolled up to opportunities.
Yeah.
I've been just futzing around with products more and more and realizing some of the limitations of them. It's sort of sad. Like I wanted to create an email template that included some of the opportunity products related to the opportunity that I'm sitting on. You can't do that. Yeah. So it's like
Conga.
Yeah, I mean, but Conga to create a document.
Right.
Not to create an email.
Right.
I wanted to just create. I didn't want a document. I just want an email. Yeah, it's like I
feel like this large hammer to bring the thumbtack.
I mean, to reference Mike Gerhold and the button click admin credo. I don't want to write Visualforce to get things that I shouldn't have to write Visualforce to get.
Right. I could tell you of a company that could write some Visualforce.
Well, yeah, but that's not.
But it's true. The we try to explain this, and actually, I'll do in a rat hole.
We've already gone down the rat hole, so you may as well go deeper into another one.
It's going to be like it's going to be bigger than a rat hole. So I got a question. I'm a big fan of Quora.
I know you are.
Which is for those of you out there who don't know Quora. Quora is sort of it's an answers community, but for everything. So for anything. And I really love the interface. I love the system, the way it, you can obviously sign in with all your, your social networking. There's some interesting ways of doing things. People can ask you to answer things. You have topics, and then you basically can give your bio of that topic, which is my favorite part of it. Which is, so I'm a big GTD guy, OmniFocus guy, Salesforce guy. But for each one of those topics, I don't have to say it's not my generic bio. It's my bio about why I know about this topic, like basically my specific topic,
like the
expertise.
New York Jets. You can just go way out of left field and be like, I am a sports person.
Right. So you can go across all these topics. So anyway, I got a couple today. So there's lots of features. And actually, I think Salesforce should look at Quora in terms of the model. And I think that would be, they could really spruce up answers and ideas if they did that. Some of that stuff, asking people to answer things, getting points for answering, it's all sorts of neat stuff. Anyway, I got a question today talking about a rat hole about what's the cost of Salesforce. Now, it's probably from someone who's looking at it. And I thought, you know what, I'll just take it. Someone asked me to answer it, so I'm like, fine, I'll get my 18 points. And, I went down that...
Maybe improve your Clout score, perhaps?
Well, Clout doesn't take Quora yet.
Oh, well,
but they will.
That's a bummer.
They will. And when they do, my Clout score is going to go through the roof.
No, they should.
Because
that's a bummer, because
it's
Clout,
coming. It's on their path.
It should be.
Yeah.
All right, keep going. Sorry.
Anyway, and it was really about the true cost of Salesforce, and, they said... implementation versus licensing. And so I just threw out numbers. I basically said, here's what you're going to hear from most anybody. Licensing is licensing, right? And implementations are basically quoted from Salesforce as half the cost of licensing for the first year. So if you were to buy, it's about right. I did the math a couple different times on some of our implementations, and then I said, and here's all these things that can make that go much lower, much higher. Training, with how much customization, are you writing applications, right? And that's where the rat hole I was going with is, a Visualforce template, email template, building a template that's a regular template, like an email, configure template versus a Visualforce, it's basically a factor of 10 in terms of the amount of time it takes to do. 1 hour to quickly do a, build and test and make a great, nice looking template with lots of stuff in it. If you're going to go to a Visualforce template, it's more to the 8 hours, to write the code, and then it's code, and it's got to sit, it's got to be deployed, and so it's like that gap. While you can do a lot with Apex and Visualforce, the gap between configuration and sort of the cost expander or the time expander, everything for us is cost and time are the same, but for most people, the time expander is huge, and also expertise. So anyway, I thought that was interesting rat hole. Let's go back to the stuff.
Why don't we go back to your blog post?
Yeah, let's go back to my blog post.
And I think I gave you 4, and you, I think, snagged a 5th one.
I threw in the one that I'm most interested in.
The one that you're most interested in?
Yeah.
Although, I think it fits within the theme. I'll give you my favorite of the one that we don't like to give away everything, because we want to make you go read it.
Blog.arkusing.com.
What he said.
Blog rag.
Right. So my favorite of these 5 that you've listed out is, wow, I mean, those top 3 are all just so great.
Yeah.
They bring so much to the table. I'm going to pick the second one, administrator logins. Yes. I mean, this is such a useful admin privilege to be able to log in as any user within the org without having to ask them to give you permission to do so, because that whole debugging and demystifying, like when someone says something's not working,
right,
and having to go back to them and tell them to
text expander to tell them how to give
use my text expander to tell them how to give me login access as them.
I almost wrote that in the blog post that you'd have to give up your text expander because it's no longer needed.
Yeah, I mean it's such a annoying thing to ask an end user to then they're already annoyed.
Right.
Already something's not working for them. And already you've probably gone back and forth twice because they've said to you, it's not working. And you've had to say, okay, what is not working? Right. And then they have to explain in more detail what is not working. And then you have to go back and say, oh, I can't reproduce that. Go through these 4 or 5 steps so that I can log in as you.
And now they've changed the interface in spring.
They've made it a little easier because it used to be like 2 boxes on top of each other with a paragraph explaining what each one was.
And one was for allowing
Salesforce to log in as you, and one was to allow your admin to log in as you.
So how many times did people give the wrong one? Right?
All the time. This is going to save admins' lives.
So question on this:
shave hours.
Let's go for some. Let's go small rat hole down this.
Okay.
When I wrote it, I thought, ooh, are there privacy or data concerns about this? Because when you're logged into somebody, anything you do is through them. You are really taking over their personship.
You are.
So if you go submit something for approval, if you go delete something, if you go update something, all of that, and again, throwing it out there, is done by the person. So this is kind of creates, whereas before you had to ask for permission, they would give it to you so they knew that you were logging in as them. Now I can log in as admin. I can log in as anybody without asking for permission. Is there a concern, a privacy concern, a meddling concern, even so much as, I mean, not really data, because obviously system admin has managed all data, view all, manage all, edit all, whatever, global, but it's more of the auditing side or stuff like that. What do you think?
I feel like that's why you have to ask Salesforce to get this turned on. Like, it's probably inherent on, if you're that type of organization that cares that deeply about that kind of thing, this is one of those features that goes through a security audit before it gets turned on.
Right.
And somebody has to sign off on the fact that this feature can be turned on.
Right.
So if someone that says, no, you can't do that, I mean, it's sort of it's like, well, okay, then it's no different than I guess the only difference is, it's no different than the person letting you log in as them anyway. The only difference is they know that they've let you do it.
Yeah. And there's a time period.
There's a time period. They can end it. They can say, oh, for the next 5 days, whatever.
Right.
I feel like that's why this is a ask Salesforce to turn it on feature, because the organizations that care about that kind of thing are going to have a say about that.
The compliance about this, I still feel like, I'm sure the person who can ask is the sysadmin. They turn it on. They can then do anything they want. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I wish, and what I'd like to see is sort of, again, I know there's setup audit trail, so that's tracking what you're doing, but I think from a compliance standpoint, you almost want to see that it's not the person that did the work, that it's the person as someone else.
Person logged in as.
I'm really thinking about approvals, or even or data, adding or deleting data, because yeah, you're not really doing it. That's not the person who's doing it. So anyway, just an interesting
What's
side
your
note.
favorite of these?
My favorite one, the one that I know exactly how it's going to work and I'm excited about, is the SMS one. I mentioned it last time, but I'll pick something else since I mentioned that, which is that, the setup recent items is going to be, talk about that, a number one time saver ever. That, now objects, fields, I think they list a whole bunch of things, tabs, apps, will all show up in this recent items list in admin and setup, which is going to save hundreds of hours worth of time. The only thing it makes me kind of think about is, okay, so when I'm on a user in Salesforce under admin screen, that user record shows up in my setup, my regular recent items, but nothing else I touch. I almost want to be like, why not? If I'm an admin, I'm really jumping back between objects and doing whatever. Give me that same view when I'm not in setup. Or, better yet, give me another, they're not called portlets, but they're called whatever, component. Give me another component that I could throw on my regular homepage as an admin called Setup Audit Trail, that I can, because the reality is while you are in setup a lot, you're jumping back and forth so much that you want to be in non-setup and then jump back to that field quickly.
That sounds like something that you should put on the idea exchange.
It does, but I'm not going to. All right, so that's it. Go to blog.com. You can see there's a couple others. One that's really is game-changing, so I'm not even going to tell you. It's game-changing.
Game changer.
Go to blog.arkusinc.com to find the game-changingness of it all.
That's right.
All right, we have some Dreamforce news.
We do.
Do we? We're getting tons of emails about it. I don't know if you're getting your emails. I'm getting mine. Oh, I've gotten already. Pre-register, pre-register. No, don't go check right now.
No,
I'm saying
I haven't.
I'm saying in general. But we have some rumors about speakers and things that are coming out. The first rumor is nobody knows about the musician. It's sort of the band.
Well, they never let you know about that until way later. That's always like one of the last things that comes out.
But contractually, we're hearing that it's very hush-hush. Which means...
Well, it was very hush-hush last year.
Yeah.
It's always very hush-hush.
I
still maintain that the best one ever was the Foo Fighters, or the best one I've been to.
Probably. Again, there's only
they were so good.
Few of them that would actually get me to go.
Stevie Wonder didn't get you to go.
No.
I almost didn't go to Metallica because I really didn't care, but I had to go. I always just go.
Not a concert guy.
Yeah, it's like a free concert with a big act.
If they had a movie, right? But see, concerts don't pull me. If they had 3D movie night I'd be like, I'll go to the movie every night. But concerts as a concept don't even pull me. So
Star Wars remastered in 3D. That'll get you.
Maybe.
Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Really? What are you going down this geek thing?
Oh, you are a geek.
A little bit. But the speakers.
You're doing a cloud computing podcast. You equal geek.
The speakers, there's I guess 3 rumors out there.
I only caught 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, so the CEO of GE is one of the rumors.
What's his name?
Don't know.
That's why I didn't write it down.
Yeah. Anyway.
I didn't want to say CEO of company.
Tony Robbins.
Is the CEO of GE, is that Don
Jack
Geiss?
Welch. I don't know.
Is that Don Geiss?
Oh, I don't know. I know the reference. I don't know where it's from.
30 Rock.
Oh, 30 Rock. Right. Oh, yeah. Good one.
Jack Donaghy, perhaps?
Jack Donaghy. And then so Tony Robbins, the CEO of GE. And then this last one, I'm kind of like, isn't this a triplicate? Isn't this the 3rd time this has been done? Which is Colin Powell.
Colin Powell, good friends with Mark Benioff.
3rd time.
He's a great speaker.
Yeah, that one kind of bugs me. 2nd time, fine, okay, but 3rd time?
Maybe it'll be in a different context, because remember last year at Dreamforce, they started that sort of side conference that they were trying to make it more like a TED Talks kind of thing.
Arkus Force?
Not Arkus Force. It was part of Dreamforce, but it was like sort of off to the side. It was like, I couldn't remember what they called it. It was like different thinkers or like innovative something or other. And it was like off to the side one day.
Was it where Gary Vee spoke?
No, Gary Vee had a real breakout session at Dreamforce. I mean, maybe some of these guys are off in that like TED Talky kind of session, where they get away from truly technology and just talk about just other things. Where they're just good speakers. Go see good speakers speak. Why not?
Yeah, I feel like to reuse Colin Powell again.
I only saw him once, so I wasn't there the first time.
No, I missed him the first time too. But it's still,
well, that's the thing. It's gone from when he first spoke, a few thousand people, to the second time he spoke,
20,
close to 10,000 people,
12,000, I think,
and now to like 40,000.
I think they're kind of banking on that, the 12,000 that of the 5,000 that are left that'll go again. You know, they'll be like, oh, whatever, we saw it, so we'll see it again. I mean, I'll go see him. He was an amazing speaker.
He was a great inspiration.
Unlike some of them, I mean, although I think Gladwell was really one of my favorite.
Gladwell and Powell have been my 2 favorite special keynote speakers. I was thoroughly unimpressed by Bill Clinton. I think that had to do with the rush and the timing and I
thought his content was too
It was
political.
off. It was off. It just didn't work for me in the context of that.
Side note.
Go on.
Rat hole.
We've done a few of those.
A lot of people have complained. This is a Dreamforce rat hole. A lot of people have complained. This is actually a media broadcasting thing where you don't actually name sources. You just say a lot of people, and it gives you things.
Sure.
A lot of people.
Like many.
Most people.
Like at least 6.
Most people have complained that Salesforce, and specifically Benioff, gets too political at this conference. That's a tech conference.
Yep.
And that they have said that it kind of turns them off to both the product,
I totally get it,
and to the conference. Thoughts?
I get where most people would come from when they say that. Some people,
everybody,
a lot of people. I mean, here's the thing about Mark Benioff.
Your buddy, Mark.
My buddy Mark.
MB.
He makes no bones about his own personal beliefs. He throws them out there. He at times throws them in your face.
Right.
And it's because he's sort of I don't think he thinks of it as a tech conference. I think he thinks of it as a
Benioff conference?
No, more of like a thought-shifting conference where it's more than about the technology Salesforce. It's always been a trailblazing, we're pushing our agenda thing. And our agenda is cloud computing, and that's before it's cool, and we're doing it. And now our agenda is social enterprise, and that's before it was cool, and we're doing it. And in part of that, it's like, all right, it's sort of no longer a tech conference, and he has this motivation that's sort of political within a vertical, but within a market, within technology. He has a stance and a position, and it sort of just translates into the way that he thinks about things, and for one reason or another, it comes out. Should it come out? Probably not. He should probably keep his political thoughts to himself.
It doesn't come out. I mean, he's hired impersonators. It's not coming out. It's not like
I know.
It's not like a slip of the tongue. Like
no. But
hey, welcome to Dreamforce. Vote Barack. It's more of like, here's an impersonator to make fun of a political party, right? Or
well, I mean that's. I think some people take that the wrong way. I don't know if it should be taken.
There's only one way. If you're on the other side of it, then there's only one way to take it.
Not really. I mean, you watch. You
political aside, what if we got religious? What if we went in there and got?
Well, he has sort of.
I've never seen.
He's talked about his like trips to Asia and meeting with monks and things of that nature.
I'm talking about like religion, like really talking about religion. What else have he talked about cloud computing in connection with God?
I don't know.
Wouldn't it just? So I listen. He does a great job, and I'm sure what he would say is, "Listen, I've been doing this. This is what I do, and this is the company I am. And you don't like it, don't use us." I'm sure he would be that kind of straightforward.
Well, I think he is that. Again, he's pushing a movement.
But you can push a technology movement without pushing a political movement. They are cloud computing, social enterprise.
But guess what? He's connected them.
No,
in his brain,
they're not connected at all.
Fine, but to him they are.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah,
to him, and a lot of people don't like it, and that's fine.
Talked to people who were upset, like really
I'm totally
upset.
There with you.
Some people were told. Most people were told that some people were.
I'm right there with you.
Again, if you're in on the joke, and I think my point is, I feel like he thinks he's a little bit in more of a bubble, like that he's surrounded by people of like kind, and he needs to consider that he maybe is not surrounded by as much people as like kind, and that in an organization that is about sales, and I've read a lot of sales books and I've gone through a lot of sales stuff. One of the things they talk about in sales is that there are things you don't talk about in sales, right? Fight Club being one, but there are some topics that are they're voodoo topics. You don't go into them, right? Weather, sports, travel, great. The other three, don't talk about. I'm not even going to mention them because the mic would explode. So you don't talk about it.
The snowball is indestructible.
So last piece on Dreamforce before we go is I was going to talk a little bit about our Dreamforce planning. We have been doing some Dreamforce.
I'm looking at the whiteboard right now with our Dreamforce planning.
It's right there. It's written right. So
there it is.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have been doing some Dreamforce planning. We have a booth this year again, a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Twice the size?
I don't know. Twice the cost.
Twice the size.
I won't tell the cost on the air, but
bring it.
Yeah, so we're going to be there again. We're thinking of, what we should do in terms of, giveaways and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's fun to start planning. Like, we're already starting to plan. So, again, if you're thinking about going to Dreamforce, at the very least, you got to go. We will actually be doing something very specific to CloudFocus Weekly there as well. So, if you're a listener, which you are, we will be doing some specific stuff around CloudFocus Weekly that I think will be fun. So, that's the tease that we can start 4 months in advance. 5 months, geez. All right, last piece of little news, just a kind of a follow-up. Because we talked about it on one of the podcasts, which was that Draw Something got bought by...
And it was a pick.
Zynga?
You got it.
Got it, finally. And it was a pick. And basically, since it's gotten bought, it's just the daily user base, which was up to almost 15 million daily users, has dropped down. Now, it's gone from 15 million daily users to about 10 million daily users.
Does this surprise you at all?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
And it has nothing to do with Zynga either. Literally nothing.
I'm not sure literally nothing. I think
it has nothing to do with Zynga. Most people have no idea
who owns what
that they're using. It still says OMG Pop on it.
Some people nothing to do with Zynga. Some people think that has something to do with Zynga.
I'm not one of those people. Right. I played it and then I stopped. Yep. It was boring. How about you? You still playing it?
No, I would say that's why I put it as a story, because it struck me that I was big into like 8 games. I really enjoyed it, but then it hit this wall for me, and it hit this wall of enjoyment where I was like, yeah, I'm not. And interesting enough, I've gone back to other games that I like playing. I'm actually gonna I don't know if I made it a pick, but I'm gonna make it my side pick. Or I'll do it now. So if you have not played, it's on sale this weekend or this week.
Ooh.
Really? Just got your attention with
sale.
$1.99 was too much. 99 is good.
Perfect.
Kingdom Rush.
Is that the one you were showing me where you have to protect the little areas with the guys?
Kingdom Rush by Ironhide Games. They came out. I've gone back and played it some more because they came out with like one more level, and it's just so absolutely addicting and awesome.
That is the one you showed me, right? Where guys try and get through the thing, but you have to put people in the way.
It's actually a Flash-based game. You can go play it on the web. You don't even have to play it on the iOS. But it's wonderful on the iPad. It is just wonderful. And it
looked fun.
There's one, so it's now 99 cents. It's dropped down. I think they're working on a Kingdom Rush 2. It is just so much fun. It's fun to listen to. It's funny. It's got a humor. It's like everything you want in a game. And every match or every board takes about, 10 minutes. So it's like a great Subway game. It's a great, waiting for someone game. Anyway, Kingdom Rush. Please go out and get it immediately. It's not my pick of the week.
This article, though, that you picked to talk about this Draw Something really is very much about, sort of smashing Zynga. And I really think it has nothing to do with Zynga at all. The fact that the user base of Draw Something is dipped. I just don't feel like it has anything to do with Zynga. I mean, maybe a tiny little percentage of geeks out there rebel against the fact that OMG Pop, this cool startup that did this game, got bought out by the monster who owns all gaming on Facebook.
Which a year ago, by the way, was a little startup that everybody...
Exactly. So that's the cyclical sort of stupidity of the internet, if you will.
No one doesn't buy Madden because it's owned
EA
by
Sports.
EA, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, everybody, if you want Madden, or no one doesn't buy Halo, or going down to my game stuff, maker of the game.
I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that Zynga purchased them. I think it has to do with the game is addicting for a little short time and then it stops.
It doesn't have elasticity. There's no... Once you've done it, once you start doing the same words, I know they've done new words now.
Oh, I get these stupid notifications like, new words! I'm like, I haven't played you in months.
Oh, there you go.
Stop it.
And I feel bad because there's some games I kind of left in the middle, but I
also felt like the more games you got involved in, that's when it was too much.
Yeah.
I enjoyed having 3 games going, but then I had 8 or 9 games going with different people, and some people were more into it than others, so they'd as soon as I'd play it, boom, they were playing it in that moment. So oh man, I feel compelled, I have to do this because they're playing now, and it has nothing to do with Zynga. It's one of those. It was a flash in the pan. Although I was reading another article, not this one, about Draw Something and its decline.
Yeah.
Funny how the internet works, where stories come out like this, and then there's a bunch of them. It follows the same trend statistically that all of Zynga's most popular and profitable games, they start out, they peak, they dip, and then they plateau, and they make lots of money on it.
I still think they paid a lot for it, but again, and what the article says is it's on, by the way, it's on Touch Arcade, which is, if you want to follow a iOS gaming blog, put it in your Google Reader.
Touch Arcade's the one, huh?
Touch Arcade, awesome gaming blog. They come out with tons of stuff. They tell you what's coming out. They tell you what's on sale. It's actually built by the same guys who do Mac Rumors.
Which it looks a lot nicer than Mac Rumors.
No,
it just looks nicer.
It's the same
really
same thing. But Mac Rumors, great site, been around for 10 years. They built this when iOS gaming started.
Anyway, they do a podcast.
Yes, they do. I have not listened to it.
Look at that! Wow, they do a podcast.
Yes, they do. All right, so let's go to our picks of the week.
Okay.
By the way, so you go first for the 90th time. Go first.
All right, I picked a iOS app.
Ooh.
Called lowercase I, iHeartRadio.
Okay.
And iHeartRadio is, I don't know who makes it. I'll have to find that out for you. It's free. it's not. It's there's an iPhone and an iPad version. They're both free, not universal. Yeah. Kind of weird. I don't like when people do that.
Yeah, don't build apps.
Don't do that, guys.
Build universal apps.
Come on. But it's a really cool app. It is just like Pandora. So we love Pandora. Pandora is great. You can find online internet stations, or I should say, like, you
Groups.
type in you type in a group or an artist or a song, and it starts playing it. Then it starts playing similar songs to that artist or that genre. iHeartRadio has basically that same thing. You type in an artist, you type in a song, it starts playing it.
Great.
It has nice features for, like, you can create, like, use a slider to say, I really like this, or play more like this, or a little bit more like this, or a lot more like this.
So it's not just up or down. It's like...
It's not just... There is up or down, but there's also, like, a slider that says, oh, I'm in the mood for this type of music now.
Oh, that's
versus,
cool.
Don't play this type of music now. So that's
So it's not saying... So that's the thing about Pandora is, I might have heard this song because Pandora's a little bit repetitive on the station that I go to, and I might down it because... or skip it, not because I don't like it, but it's because I've heard it four times today.
I don't want to hear it again.
But you're saying, like, this one, it says...
Has a little slider.
Yeah, I want this less now.
Right.
But I love
less
this
now,
artist.
and maybe later I'll move it up a little more.
Nice.
So not only does it have the Pandora-like features, which are nice, we love Pandora for, but it also it goes out and gets internet, like, radio stations. Real radio stations.
Right.
So local ones from all over the country.
Okay.
So you can use your location. It says, oh, you're in New York. And it pulled, like, 15 different...
Can you get 1010 wins?
I don't think 1010 was on there, but 105... Like, I don't listen to radio. KTU was on there, yeah. So that was on there. There was a bunch of music stations on there. There was a bunch of AM stations on there. It did not have any of the sports talk. It didn't have ESPN Radio or The Fan, but
a lot of them are protected.
Yeah, they have their own feeds that they do.
They don't want you to use them. Okay.
But a really nice app to do two things. One, listen to music that you would normally do in a Pandora-like service.
Right.
And also listen to the real radio if you'd like to really listen to the real radio, which has commercials and things, so I don't know why you would. But it has the best of both worlds.
Right. Well, real radio also has news, and if it's local, and it's like, what's going on?
Or if you're an expat, you're from, the West Coast, and you want to listen to your California radio station, you just hop in and you can play it, and it's free.
I will tell you that remember when the hurricane hit us New York?
Hurricane hit New York. We had to evacuate our apartments.
Yeah, so I had to go upstate and evacuate my whole living area and went up like 2 hours away. And all I wanted was to be able to listen. I didn't want to watch CNN anymore. I was getting bored. I wanted to hear locally what was going on. So I tried to get the 1010 wins, which is for New Yorkers.
It is the news station.
It's New York news stations. Like, that's what I wanted. And I was surfing and it was so hard to get an app on my iPhone that would just give me 1010 wins. Like, okay, you could use the Flash version, but you couldn't get it on the iPhone, and I was very painful.
I'm gonna see now if 1010 wins is part while you do your picks.
All right, so my pick of the week, I already gave you one, which is Kingdom Rush. Go get it immediately. The second one is the opposite of Kingdom Rush. It's an app that I've been using for a while. So all in new vogue now is Charles Barkley, right? Charles Barkley commercials.
For what?
For Weight Watchers for men?
Yes,
yeah.
Weight Watchers.
So there's a whole new thing about Weight Watchers for men. My wife uses Weight Watchers to maintain her weight. I've used Weight Watchers to lose weight or maintain weight. Justin here is a shadow of his former self because of Weight Watchers.
It's kind of funny that you are using this as your pick because I literally canceled my Weight Watchers subscription this week.
Yeah, it's Weight Watchers itself is expensive. I'll tell you why I use this one. But so Weight Watchers, whatever. It's a point system, and one of the things is it has a calculation, but you can take basically anything and figure out what the points value, and then you get so many points per day, and it kind of just makes life easy. But sometimes to figure out what the points are, it's a little bit difficult. It's hard to, it's a calculation, so they give you scanners, they give you books or whatever. So this is an iOS app called the Weight Watchers Scanner, and basically it'll scan the barcode of any product, and you scan it, and then it'll tell you how many points it is. So you can be sitting. So I'll give you an example, and the reason I made this my pick. I was buying taco chips. You love chips.
How
I love chips. So I was buying taco
Tostitos?
chips. I was looking at Tostitos taco chips. And so I picked up 2 bags.
I think they're called tortilla chips.
Tortilla chips. So I call it taco chips. And I turned them around.
You could just buy hard shell tacos and crunch them up.
Those are not as good. So I turned them around, and I was looking at their, I was just like, oh, which one of these should I buy? And I was like, I don't know, let's get the one that's the lower and fat, whatever. The more healthy one. So I scanned...
Or the less unhealthy one.
So I scanned one, and then I scanned the other. And lo and behold, one of them, 14 chips, 3 points. One of them, 7 chips, 4 points.
Oh, gotta go with the 14 chip 3 points.
I mean, really?
It's not even close.
But I mean, so the app you can instantly tells you it's great. It's a great app.
Was that accurate though? Because you were looking at the fat and the this and the that, and you probably couldn't tell any difference.
Because it's about ounces, and it's about how many per serving, whatever. So anyway, the nice thing is
am I gonna have to download this app?
Well, you need to have a Weight Watchers subscription to use it.
Oh well, I don't have that anymore. I just canceled it.
I use my wife's,
oh.
So then I don't have a Weight Watchers subscription because she likes going to meetings. I never went to meetings, but I just use her login information, and it's great. Anyway, Weight Watchers Scanner. If you are someone who is looking for a way to maintain, again, it's not even just you're a big person and need to lose weight. It's a great way to maintain your weight or just to reset your goals. Weight Watchers is great, but Weight Watchers Scanner is a great app. So that's it. So that was a good we made something out of nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so go to blog.arkusinc.com and read more about our nothing or something. Follow us on Arkus Inc., twitter.com/ArkusInc, twitter.com/Jason and Matwood, and twitter.com/JustEdelstein here. You can go to facebook.com/Arkus Inc., where we post all of our news. We're also on Google+. And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, iTunes is one of the great ways to do it. Also, Instacast, which we talk about almost every week, came out with a new version.
Love it.
Love it. Really great. If you're a podcast listener, you got to use Instacast.
You totally have to download that.
Really. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
I'm picking it again next week.
You can pick it. You can pick the iPhone version. It's a different version.
I'm going to pick the iPhone version then. Yeah, you picked Instacast HD.
Instacast HD, yeah. I only listen to things on my iPad. All right. So that's it. And as we say always, for at least the last 90 times, until next week, enjoy those cloudy days.